bipolar world under the Cold War, where you had the United States and the Soviet Union, the dogma then was mutually assured destruction, which I love that acronym, MAD. There was the feeling that either side understood that should they initiate a nuclear war, that the retaliation would be so complete that neither side would win, and thus a deterrent. With the emergence of terrorism and the increased spread of nuclear technology, that model no longer works. For someone to achieve a nuclear capability, they can either buy it, build it, or steal it, and I was involved in aspects of all of those. I tried to make sure that the bad guys, whether they were terrorists, rogue nation states, did not get any sort of nuclear capability.
This is a moment where we're poised on the edge of the third age of nuclear weapons. The first age was 1945 to 1989. That was nukes as deterrents. Then we entered a second and very different age. That was the age of nukes as geopolitical prestige. We're in a third age now. It's been called loose nukes or nukes for the rest of us. The danger in this world is once a non-state actor gets a weapon, there's probably a very strong incentive to use it as quickly as possible because they have the knowledge that everybody is going to be chasing them down to try and get it back.
There are 5,000 warheads that are in a state of immediate readiness in the world. They're all being kept up to date by various military industrial complexes. The systems that control them are not being kept up to date. Command and control systems are, in some cases, genuinely mid-60s technologies.
The Soviet Union produced over 100 briefcase-sized nuclear weapons to take out bridges or cities or infrastructure. Approximately 50 of those are unknown where they are at present. So any one of those could turn up in Manhattan at any point and be detonated not by a state actor, but by a rogue individual.
We had 68,000 active weapons in 1985, and we've only got 5,000 or 6,000 now. Most of those were turned into material to be used in nuclear power plants. We have new methods of understanding the use of nuclear energy that would make it, I think, very practical for us to reconfigure all of that fissile material into energy for the planet at a time when we really need it quickly.
I think that gets us a couple of things. One is it gets us more power relatively cheaply if we can do that, but the second thing is it takes care of a lot of material that's currently sitting unused and potentially can get into the hands of people we don't want it to get into.
We have a lot of good ideas for ways to move this field forward, but ultimately we have to get the buy-in of other countries as well. One of the gaps in our field is that there isn't really a clear front door or a clear meeting place for participants to facilitate that exchange.
In previous summits, as a consequence of the work that's been done collectively, 12 countries and 24 nuclear facilities around the world have rid themselves entirely of highly enriched uranium and plutonium.
Since the use of nuclear bombs, Little Boy and Fat Man against the Japanese in World War II, the U.S. hasn't used nuclear weapons for any other military purpose since. Now, if this is the case, the question is, why does the U.S. military still harbor nuclear warheads in the modern era?
We need to redefine what makes us secure in this world. It is not arming our country to the teeth. It is not getting other countries to arm themselves to the teeth with the weapons that we produce and we sell them. It is using that money more rationally to make the countries of the world secure, to make the people of the world secure.
If we get rid of nuclear weapons, we have to replace the miracle that they brought, and that is 70 years without a general war.
One of the things that concerns me most right now in the Western industrialized world is that I think most people are sleepwalking, and there's so little awareness of this grave danger. I don't think we're doomed, but I do think it's urgent that we take action because the threat is real, and I think the threat is imminent.
If a nuclear weapon were to go off in any city in the world at any time, the consequences would be devastating. People would be calling for martial law. And here in the United States, the things that we take for granted in the Bill of Rights and our Constitution would all be set on a shelf because people want to feel that they would be safe from another attack. The chaos, the uncertainty, the anxieties, the disruption to our economic system would be devastating. Unfortunately, I believe that that possibility is more likely now than it was, say, 20 years ago, before the collapse of the Soviet Union. Nuclear security and climate change are, to my mind, the two most existential threats facing human civilization today.
I'm excited about what's possible when young people and leaders from around the world agree that nuclear weapons are a net risk to the globe and they are immoral and intolerable in a humanitarian sense.